Shalom, family. Welcome back to another biblical discussion, or if you will, teaching or sharing of the word. Today, we're going to talk about the curse of the law and what it is, because it could, and it does, cause confusion within the Christian church, and maybe some of our own people that are awakened. You know, the curse of the law is upon all mankind, family. Okay? And Mashiach came and died and became the curse for us. Okay? Now, the law itself is not the curse. You know, the curse is the penalty, you know, for breaking the law. That's what it is. And so the law, the law can't save, family. It wasn't designed to save. The law was to point out sin, that you know what sin is. How can you prevent sinning when you don't even know what it is? So the law was pretty much a teacher, a school teacher, but it didn't have any redemptive qualities in it at all. But once again, the law is not the curse. The curse is the penalty for not keeping the law. Okay? And we couldn't keep it. There's no way we could keep it, because the law demands perfection. And I'm pretty sure everybody agree that none of us is perfect. So there had to be a sacrifice. Even under the old covenant, when the priest had to go in and make a sacrifice for sin on a yearly basis. See, because the law couldn't take away the sin. That was just temporary, because they had to do it every year. You know, if the law took away the sin, that sacrifice took away the sin, then they wouldn't need to keep repeating it year after year. Okay? It took the supreme sacrifice, which is Mashiach, to be able to take away sin through faith, belief, and obedience in Him. Now, you hear a lot of preachers say that we're not under the law, or we don't have to keep the law. And that is a big lie. But we keep it through faith and belief, and following the example of Mashiach, who became that curse for us, that we will be able to be reconciled to the Father. Okay? Other than that, family, we'd all still be under the curse of the law. But through Mashiach, we are redeemed from the curse. Now, that is not saying that the law is done away with it. He told you that himself. I didn't come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. He came and he fulfilled the curse of the law, therefore enabling us through Mashiach to be redeemed. Like I say, under the law, it was no redemptive qualities in it. It wasn't designed to redeem nobody. And we have people today thinking that they can live by the law. We have a lot of Old Testament only believers who think they can make it into the kingdom by keeping the law, and they're terribly mistaken. You know, most don't even believe in Mashiach. And if you don't believe in Mashiach, neither do you believe in the Father. So you're neither one. You're not an Old Testament or New Testament believer, because they're one and the same. You can't separate them. See? So we're gonna, go, you know, as we do, we got to go to the scriptures, you know, to prove our point, you know. And as far as people saying that the law, you know, that was the Old Testament, you know, and it's no longer valid or not. Listen, the law was written in stone by the finger of the Most High himself. And if it's written in stone, it's forever. We even use that expression sometime in our lives, you know, man, that's written in stone. You know, meaning it can't be changed. It won't be changed. Mashiach said, till heaven and earth pass away, not one jot, not one tittle shall be taken from the law. It's just that simple. It's plain. And I think Paul said it best in Romans chapter 6, what's that, verse 1 and 2, we asked the question, shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? And he said, y'all forbid. You know, we just can't keep sinning. Mashiach did not come and die for you to be able to keep sinning. It's just that simple. Okay. Okay, but, and I give you references to these laws were written in stone, and you can look them up yourself. You can go to Exodus 31:18, Exodus 24:12, Exodus 34 verse 1 through 4. You can go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 13, chapter 5 verse 22, and chapter 9 verses 9 through 11. All of them refers to the Most High writing those laws in stone and placing them in the ark. And since the ark was the pre-shadow of Mashiach, then those same laws is in him. He is the ark. See? It's perfect. It makes perfect sense. Okay? So, let's read some scriptures here concerning this matter, family. Because, you know, in these last days, and we are in the last days, now don't ask me how far, because I have no idea. I don't know either. None of us do. You know, all that's in the hands of the Most High. But just from the signs that we see, we know that we're living in the last days by all the wickedness going on. Okay? Galatians chapter 3, verse 10 through 13. For as many as are the works of the law are under the curse, for it is written, cursed is everyone that continue not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of Elohim. It is evident, for the just shall live by faith. Now you just read it yourself. No man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High. That's plain. Verse 12. And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. Verse 13. Mashiach has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangs on a tree. See, that was the curse. That is the penalty of the curse. The scriptures tell us the wages of sin is death. Okay? So Mashiach became the curse for us. Okay? That we may be able to be reconciled to the Father in faith, both belief and obedience. Okay? Now, I know people will say, well, I believe in God. Well, like the book of James tell you, you believe in God, you do well. See, because even the devils believe and tremble. So that's not really saying too much, family, if you're not obeying and living by the Most High's laws. I mean, just saying you believe in God, believe there is a God, that's not saying nothing. Even the devils believe it. They know it's one. But are the devils keeping the commandments? No. So you ain't in no better shape than they are. Because they believe and tremble. Okay? Let me read 13 again. Mashiach has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. See, family, when people were hanged back then, they had to be taken down before the day changes. Okay? We live by the Most High's timing. Okay? Not man. See, on Shabbat, when twilight comes, then that day ends for us. That's the end of Shabbat. See, we're already into the first day of the week, which is Sunday, after Shabbat ends. The world considers 12 a.m. the beginning of another day. But ours start after sundown. When Shabbat ends, we're already headed into Sunday. Okay? All we have to do is go back to Genesis and see how the Most High explains it. Everything he did, he said, and the evening and the morning were the first day. See? So that's how our time goes. Not by the world's time. But when somebody was hung, their body couldn't remain past that day. It had to be taken down before that evening ended. Okay? Let's see. Let's read Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 23. His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of Elohim, that thy land be not defiled, which the Most High thy Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance. See, this is why Mashiach did not stay upon the tree when they nailed him to it. They had to take him down before that day ended. And matter of fact, Mashiach died on the day of Passover. Okay? The next day was the 15th, when he was put to death. All right, we know the 14th of the month is Passover. Well, the very next day would be the Feast of Unleavened Bread, because they run right into each other. And so that day he was put to death, and they had to take him down before sundown, because then he would still been hanging there when the High Shabbat started, which was unleavened bread. So he could not remain on the cross, okay, or tree, past that time. This is why they were going to go out there and break their legs so they would go ahead and die. But they didn't have to break his, because he had already given up the spirit. And this is why, and they call that day, the 15th, before the evening, that was a day of preparation. Okay? So they could not leave him there going into the evening of the 15th, because that's when the unleavened bread started. Okay? Let's go to Joshua chapter 10, verse 26 and 27. And afterward, Joshua smote them and slew them and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanging upon the trees until the evening. You see that, family? Verse 27, and it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun that Joshua commanded, and they took them down off the trees and cast them into a cave wherein they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, which remain until this very day. See that, family? When they were hung, they had to be taken down because it would bring a curse upon the land. Now, let's talk about today. Our people were hung, right? And sometimes they would be left hanging for 2 or 3 days, so people could walk by and look at them, and try to put fear into the other slaves' heart. But this is why this land, this nation is cursed, because it violated what the Most High said. You do not leave them hanging overnight. But they did. This is why this land, this country, this nation is cursed by Elohim himself. All right? See, we couldn't keep the law, family, because even today, most of us break it every day. See? But because of our faith and belief in Mashiach, we're not cursed by it. All we have to do is repent and keep it moving. But the law is not done away with, family. Don't believe that for a second. You can find out real easy that it still exists, and that's to get away from Mashiach, quit believing at all, and live in sin, and you'll find out it very much still exists. Okay? But a lot of us break it all the time. Which one do we break? Let's go to Matthew 22, verse 37 and 38. Mashiach said unto him, Thou shalt love the Most High, thy Elohim, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Verse 38, this is the first and great commandment. See, and a lot of times, family, we love carnal things, We put a lot of that in front of the Most High. We love our homes and our nice cars and our money. And, we kind of forget and put those things in front of the Most High. And, we break it all the time. A lot of us, We're to love the Most High above everything. Nothing is placed in front of the Most High. We don't even put ourselves in front of it. Now, today is what's known by the world as my birthday. And all I do, I do not celebrate it. This is a business as usual day for me. This is why I'm doing this video now. See, because that's the supposedly day I was born, I am not going to put myself in front of the Most High. I got to do His work, regardless of what day it is. See, all I did, wake up, I thanked the Most High for letting me be here another year. That's it. Now I got the rest of the day, I got to tend to business, especially His. See, you don't get no day off from the Most High or business, especially if you call yourself a teacher. If He gives you something to speak about, and I don't care if it is your birthday, that means nothing. You don't put yourself or that day in front of the Most High. Okay? We have to remember to all things, even your family doesn't come before the Most High. Your wife, your husband does not come before the Most High. You put nothing in front of Him. No other idols, no other gods, nothing. Okay? Romans chapter 3, verse 25 through 26. Whom the Most High has set forth to be a propitiation through faith in His blood, to declare His righteousness for the remission of sins that are past through the forbearance of Elohim. To declare, I say, at this time His righteousness, that He might be just, and the justifier of him which believeth in Mashiach. See, this is how we're seen as righteous, family, through Mashiach. There's no other way. Okay? Now, Moses or Abraham or Noah, see, they didn't have the benefit of Mashiach. He had not come to die for us yet. But, not that they just believed there was a God, they believed in Him. They believed Him. See, it's a difference. They believed the Most High by faith. Whatever He told them to do, they did it. And what did He say about them? It was counted unto them as righteousness because they believed the Most High. Not believe in Him, that He exists. They believed Him, period. They had to. They had faith. They believed the Most High. Or Abraham wouldn't have been able to do what he was going to do. And that was to kill his own son. Because the Most High said to. And he believed that the Most High knew what He was doing, so He was going to do it. But the Most High stopped him. Because He seen that Abraham had faith. So it was counted to him as righteous. Okay? It's not that we are righteous, family, but through Mashiach, belief, and obedience, we are seen by the Most High as righteous. Not of ourselves. Now, don't think that you can be righteous on your own, and this is what these Old Testament people think. They think they can be righteous on their own by the law. And they can't. They cannot. Let's see. Romans chapter 4, verse 15. Because the law works wrath. For where no law is, there is no transgression. Now, let's explain that, family. After Adam fell, the people in between, up to Moses, the law was not given yet. The Most High had not written the law or given it until he gave it to Moses. So there was no law. So they didn't break any laws, but they were still sinning. See? And we know the wages of sin is death. So they didn't break the law because the law hadn't been given yet. That's why it says, where there is no law, there is no transgression. See? Because it was given to Moses up in the mountain. So the people were still destroyed, but it wasn't because they broke the law. It was because of sin and wickedness. See, we have to let the Bible explain itself, family. Romans 5:13. It says, for until the law, sin was in the world. Okay, we know that, right? But sin is not imputed when there is no law. See, we wasn't they wasn't under the curse because it hadn't been given yet. In our lives, if we don't break any laws, then we shouldn't be under any penalty by our governments. Okay? If they don't have a law against something, say jaywalking. Say if it wasn't a law against jaywalking, then how can you be charged with that when there's no law? Well, we know in this country they make them up as they go along. It may not used to be a law, but when you do it, all of a sudden it becomes a law. Okay. 2 Corinthians 5:21. For he has made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of Elohim in him. There you go. It just repeats itself over and over. John 14:6. Mashiach said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. See, Old Testament believers, that's the only way. Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under the heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. We know that name to be Yahushua. That's it. You're not going to be justified, as the scriptures tell you, by the keeping of the law in the sight of the Most High. If that's the case, then there was no need for Mashiach if we're going to be justified by the law. The law was the teacher. Okay? John 10:1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. See, That's the only way you enter in, through the door, which is Mashiach. You don't go to the Father except through him. Okay? So if you try to get in any other kind of way, you the same as a thief and a robber. Okay? So, who did he give the law to? Well, Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20 tells us. He showed his word unto Jacob, Israel, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye Yah. We were given the word, family. See, we were supposed to be the kings and priests, and we were supposed to spread the word throughout the world. But we didn't. You know, we went to worshiping idols and disobedience our own self. Okay? And so we were under the curse. This is why we're here for over 400 years. Okay? You can't justify yourself, family. I mean, your righteousness is nothing. It's only through Mashiach. Isaiah 64:6. But we are as all an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away. See, your righteousness, what you think you can do, you self-righteous, you're not going to make it. Because your righteousness is as filthy rags before the Most High. He told you the way, and that's through Mashiach, okay? You keep the law all you want. If you don't have faith, belief, and obedience in Mashiach, you're in trouble. Romans 6:23, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Elohim is eternal life through Yahushua HaMashiach. See, family, the only way sin can be remissed, it's got to be shedding of blood. Even in the days when our priests would go in before the Most High, before the Ark of the Covenant, they had to have a blood sacrifice, or they better not show up in there without one. Because without one, that means they have come face to face with the Most High and his commandments, which they couldn't keep, and they would probably drop dead right on the spot. See, you couldn't approach the Most High without a blood sacrifice for the people and for the priest. Okay? Let's read Hebrews 9, 16 through 18. For where a testament is, there also must also of a necessity be the death of the testator. Verse 17, for a testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator lives. Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood. That simply means, family, in a way of speaking, those animals that were sacrificed, they were the testators. Okay? And so they had to die for it to be a force. Let's put it this way, family. Your parents or grandparents make out a will. Okay? They are the testators of that will. Okay? But it is of no force until they're dead, until they die. It means nothing until they die. It is of no effect or force until their death. That's why the scriptures say the testator has to be dead. So it was with Mashiach. He had to die for it to become effective. It's real simple. Let's go further. Hebrews 9:22. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood. And without shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. It's just that simple. We're redeemed from the curse of the law. Now, we don't have to do the sacrificial ceremonies, family. Burning incense and killing goats and bulls. No, that was nailed up with Mashiach. Okay? We don't have to do that because he is the ultimate blood sacrifice for us. However, that does not mean that you do not have to keep the feast days. See? Because all of the feast days, family, are Shabbats. They are Sabbaths within themselves. They are Sabbaths. We have to keep the Sabbaths. All of them. Even when our people were on the earth, they violated the sabbatical year, the land Sabbath. This is why the Most High moved them for 70 years so the land could get the rest that they refused to let happen. That's why he moved them all, among other things. See, those Sabbaths, you're going to keep. We have to keep them, family. That was not a request. He said throughout your generations, perpetually. Okay? So no, that part is not done away with now. Let's be clear about that. Oh, we ain't got to keep the feast days. Those are Shabbats. They're high Shabbats at that. Okay? Yes, you do. Acts chapter 20, verse 28. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over which the Ruach HaKodesh has made you overseers, to feed the church of Elohim, which he has purchased with his own blood. Now, I know people have a problem with that. Well, Mashiach was the one that shed his blood, and you would be 100% correct in saying that. But at the same time, when you read this verse and it says the Most High has purchased it with his own blood, you'd be 100% correct again, brother. Let that sink in. And then you'll find out who you worship. All right? Just ponder on that for a minute. All right? Because either way you say it, you're correct. Mashiach came from and of the Most High himself. It's real simple, family. Real simple. I think I got one more verse, and then we're going to explain something about twilight before we get out of here. John chapter 16, verse 28. I came forth from the Father. That's what I just told you. And I am coming to the world. Again, I leave the world and go back to the Father. See, Mashiach is from and of the Most High himself, in the Most High's bosom. I know that may throw people off a little bit, but just keep studying. You'll get it. It'll hit you like a ton of bricks. Now, concerning when our days end and start. See, family, most people don't know that twilight occurs twice. See, it occurs twice. At the end of Shabbat, when you can no longer see the sun, but the sky is still bright. You know, it stays bright before it turns dark. But the sun is already out of your sight. But the sky is still kind of bright. That's twilight. That's in the evening. That's twilight. Okay? Twilight happens again when it starts going from dark back to light. If you want to know what twilight is, go outside before the sun, just before the sun comes up. You'll see the sky is already brightened up. But you can't see the sun yet. That's twilight. Okay? Just before dawn. That's twilight also. And you can find that reading about Mary when she was going to the grave, where Mashiach was buried. The scripture said it was dawning toward the first day of the week. See, Mashiach rose before Shabbat ended, because if he didn't, that means he would have spent more time in the ground than he was supposed to, than he said he would. So he rose before Shabbat ended, because after Shabbat ends, we're already starting into Sunday. And the scripture said that Mary Magdalene, as it was dawning toward the first day of the week, which is Sunday, it hadn't quite got light outside yet, but it was already Sunday for them because Shabbat had ended. Okay? So it was dawning toward the first day of the week. And when the sun come up or whatever, and they got to the tomb, he was already gone. I think it was an angel or something sitting there, said, asked who you looking for. He said, he's not here. He's already gone. See? So that's how our time is, family. That's twilight. It happens twice. Some people like to call it sundown or whatever. But twilight happens when we can no longer see the sun, but the sky is not yet dark. It's still light. Okay? Same thing in the morning before the sun is visible. It's twilight. All right? Okay, family. That's pretty much all I wanted to discuss today. And I hope that we all learned something from this, family. Me as a teacher, as I teach, I learn also, okay? So, okay, until the next time, family, have a great rest of the week. All right? Shalom.